High above the spiral arm of what humans would call the Orion Spur, the observational platform Ketura hung motionless against the backdrop of stars. Its crystalline surfaces absorbed and redirected light, making it nearly invisible to conventional detection methods. Inside, senior observer Vax Norrie reviewed the latest findings from Sol 3 with growing concern. "Impossible," they muttered, their bioluminescent patches flickering with agitation. The data streams flowing through their neural interface painted a picture that defied the Great Archive's predictions. The bipedal species shouldn't have achieved spaceflight for at least another millennium, yet their primitive vessels now dotted the orbital spaces around their homeworld. Vax Norrie's third heart pulsed with anxiety as they composed their report to the High Council. The Concordiat had monitored thousands of emerging species over the millennia, guiding them towards enlightenment when they reached appropriate technological thresholds. But these humans, they weren't following any of the established patterns. Analysis complete. Observer, the platform's quantum intelligence announced. Probability matrices suggest 89.7% likelihood of significant data corruption or sensor malfunction. Vax Norrie's tendrils curled in frustration. Run it again, platform. Full spectrum analysis, correlate with historical records. The humans' technological progression made no sense. Their primary space vessels still relied on chemical propulsion, yet somehow they had managed to establish colonies on their moon and neighboring planet. Their communication systems used primitive radio waves, but the platform had detected occasional quantum fluctuations, suggesting far more sophisticated technologies in limited use. Most disturbing of all, their weapons. The archive clearly showed the development path that all species followed. Energy-based weapons proceeded faster than light travel, which preceded quantum manipulation. Yet these humans had achieved none of these in the expected order. Instead, they had refined their primitive kinetic weapons to an absurd degree of sophistication. Secondary analysis complete, the platform announced. No evidence of sensor malfunction. Anomaly confirmed. Vax Norrie's bioluminescence darkened with resignation. The High Council would need to know immediately. These humans represented an unprecedented variant in technological development. Their erratic progress suggested either dangerous instability or something worse. The observer began composing their formal report. To the most enlightened High Council of the Concordiat, I regret to report a Level 1 anomaly in Sector 7249, concerning the species-designated human on the world they call Earth. Their technological development has deviated significantly from all known patterns, suggesting possible contamination from an unknown spacefaring race or a fundamental flaw in our understanding of sophont evolution. Relevant observations. Chemical propulsion systems coexist with evidence of quantum communication. Primitive radio technology alongside suspected quantum entanglement experiments. Highly advanced materials science despite lacking basic energy manipulation. Unusual focus on improving obsolete kinetic weapon systems. Rapid adaptation rate exceeding standard evolutionary models by 300%. Most concerning is their apparent ability to achieve sophisticated results using seemingly primitive methods. This suggests either remarkable ingenuity or deliberately concealed capabilities. Recommended action. Immediate diplomatic contact to assess true technological level and potential threat status. Standard first contact protocols may be insufficient given the unusual circumstances. With deepest concern. Senior Observer Vax Norrie. As the report transmitted through quantum channels to the High Council, Vax Norrie continued monitoring the strange species below. Their satellite network was primitive by Concordiat standards, yet somehow it achieved nearly complete coverage of their planet. Their orbital defenses appeared to consist mainly of kinetic weapons platforms, yet occasional energy signatures suggested hidden capabilities. The platform's alerts suddenly flared to life. Observer detecting unusual activity in the human orbital space. Multiple vessels launching simultaneously from different locations. Vax Norrie watched in fascination as dozens of small craft rose from Earth's surface. Their heat signatures were consistent with chemical rockets, but their acceleration curves seemed wrong somehow. The observers' tendrils twitched as they noticed familiar patterns in the launches. This was a military exercise. Platform, analyze their formation patterns, compare with known combat doctrines. The quantum intelligence processed the request instantly. No matches found in the archive. These movements appeared to be unique to human tactical doctrine. This was exactly what Vax-Nori had feared. The humans weren't following any known patterns of technological or social development. They had somehow evolved their own unique path to the stars, and that made them dangerous, unpredictable. The observer added an urgent addendum to their report. Supplemental. Humans are now conducting what appears to be coordinated military exercises in near-orbital space. Their technological capabilities continue to defy conventional analysis. Request immediate guidance regarding potential containment protocols if diplomatic contact fails. Of particular concern is their apparent mastery of what we would consider inefficient or obsolete technologies. They achieve results that should require quantum manipulation using only mechanical and chemical processes. This suggests either remarkable innovation or deliberately primitive appearance masking advanced capabilities. The High Council must consider the possibility that standard evaluation metrics are insufficient for this species. Their development path is so divergent from established patterns that our normal protocols may be dangerously inadequate. Vax-Nori's bioluminescence pulsed with worry as they watched another wave of human vessels rise from the planet's surface. Their movements were precise, coordinated, yet followed no recognizable doctrine. The observer had monitored 17 emerging civilizations over their career, but never had they encountered one that deviated so dramatically from expected patterns. The platform's alerts chimed again. Observer, detecting quantum fluctuations from the human orbital platforms. Signature matches no known configuration. Magnitude, insufficient data. The signatures appear briefly then vanish. This may indicate failed experiments with quantum technology or deliberate masking of capabilities. Vax-Nori finished. Their tendrils coiled tightly with stress. Everything about this species suggested they were primitive, yet they consistently achieved results that should have been impossible with their apparent level of technology. The observer made a decision. Their next transmission to the High Council was brief but urgent. Request immediate upgrade of human threat assessment to Category 1. Evidence suggests they may be far more advanced than their visible technology indicates. Recommend full diplomatic contact team with military escort. These humans are either remarkable innovators or deliberately hiding their true capabilities. Either possibility represents an unprecedented situation requiring immediate attention. Awaiting instructions. Senior Observer Vax-Nori. As the quantum transmission pulsed outward, Vax-Nori settled in to continue their observation. Below, the strange vessels of the humans continued their incomprehensible maneuvers, defying every pattern the archive predicted. The observers' 3 hearts beat in an anxious rhythm as they contemplated the implications. The humans were about to change everything the Concordia thought they knew about technological development. Vax-Nori only hoped the High Council would recognize the threat and the opportunity before it was too late. The High Council's response arrived with unprecedented speed. Within 2 planetary rotations of Earth, the Concordia diplomatic vessel Eternal Wisdom dropped out of quantum space at the edge of the Sol system. Its crystalline hull gleamed with contained energy, a deliberate display of technological superiority meant to properly impress the primitive humans. First Speaker Zareth stood on the command deck, their ceremonial robes rippling with patterns of light that reflected their status. The vessel's quantum intelligence had just finished its preliminary scan of the system. Fascinating, Zareth murmured, studying the holographic display. They've managed to establish a presence on multiple planetary bodies using only chemical propulsion and primitive life support systems. First Speaker, the ship's tactical analyst interrupted, their bioluminescence flickering with concern. We're detecting unusual energy signatures from several of the human orbital platforms. Primitive nuclear fission weapons, no doubt, Zareth dismissed. The archive shows most species experiment with such devices before discovering proper energy manipulation. The tactical analyst's colors darkened. The signatures don't match any known weapons profile. First speaker, and their orbital defense grid. The coverage patterns suggest capabilities beyond their apparent technology level. Impossible. Zareth's secondary brain processed the data. Their vessels still use chemical propulsion. They haven't even mastered basic gravitic manipulation. What possible threat could they pose to a Concordiat diplomatic vessel? The Eternal Wisdom continued its stately progress through the solar system, its quantum drives precisely calibrated to give the humans time to detect their approach. This was, after all, a carefully choreographed first contact scenario. The High Council had conducted thousands of such meetings over the millennia. Multiple vessels launching from the human homeworld, the ship's quantum intelligence announced. Primitive chemical propulsion detected. Acceleration curves suggest defensive formation. Zareth's bioluminescence brightened with amusement. They mean to challenge us with such basic technology. This should be educational for them. Prepare the standard technological demonstration package. The Eternal Wisdom's energy matrix hummed as it prepared to demonstrate proper spacefaring technology to the humans. A small fleet of their chemical-powered vessels had formed up in what they presumably thought was an intimidating formation. Receiving transmission from the human vessels, the quantum intelligence reported. Basic radio waves, as expected. Translation matrix engaging. A human voice filled the command deck, speaking in what the translation matrix identified as English. Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. State your intentions immediately. Zareth's tendrils rippled with satisfaction. Everything was proceeding according to the archive's predictions. Open a channel. Let us show these humans how proper civilizations communicate. The Eternal Wisdom's quantum communicators activated, broadcasting on all frequencies including the human's primitive radio bands. Zareth's voice resonated with the authority of 10,000 years of Concordiat civilization. People of Earth, we come in peace as representatives of the Galactic Concordiat. We have monitored your development and deemed you ready for preliminary contact. Prepare to receive our technological demonstration, which will illustrate the benefits of joining our enlightened coalition. Without waiting for a response, Zareth nodded to their technical staff. The Eternal Wisdom's energy matrix pulsed, preparing to generate a small but impressive display of quantum manipulation. The humans would witness proper technology, not their crude chemical reactions. Energy spike from multiple human vessels. The tactical analyst suddenly announced, their colors flaring with alarm. Unknown technology, not matching any known weapons profile. Zareth's dismissal died in their throat as the holographic displays erupted with warnings. The human vessels had somehow changed. Energy readings that hadn't been there moments before now blazed across the quantum sensors. Impossible, Zareth whispered. They're using some form of quantum shielding, but their ships still show chemical propulsion. The archive has no record of such a development path. The human admiral's voice came again, somehow harder now. Concordiat vessel, your penetration of Earth defense space has been logged as a potential act of aggression. Power down your energy matrix immediately, or we will respond with appropriate force. They can't possibly, Zareth began, but the tactical analyst interrupted. First speaker, detecting multiple quantum signature variations. The humans appear to be using some form of adaptive shield technology we've never encountered. Their weapons, they're not primitive at all. They're just different. The Eternal Wisdom's quantum intelligence added its own analysis. Human technology appears to combine multiple development paths simultaneously. They have achieved quantum manipulation without following standard progression. Tactical options are limited due to insufficient data. Zareth's 3 hearts beat rapidly as they realized the magnitude of their error. The humans hadn't needed to follow the archive's prescribed path of development. They had somehow found their own way to advanced technology, disguising it behind seemingly primitive systems. First speaker, The tactical analyst's colors were almost white with stress. The humans are powering up additional systems. Energy signatures suggest capabilities we don't fully understand. The human admiral's voice came one final time. Concordiate vessel, this is your last warning. Power down, or we will demonstrate exactly how primitive Earth's defenses are. Zar-Eth's tendrils coiled tightly as they faced a decision the Archive had never prepared them for. The humans had achieved sophisticated technology through unprecedented means. Their ships still used chemical propulsion, yes, but it was clearly by choice rather than necessity. Stand down all systems, Zar-Eth ordered, their bioluminescence dimming with humiliation. Send to the High Council. First contact protocols have failed. The humans are far more advanced than we assumed. Recommend immediate diplomatic revision. As the Eternal Wisdom's energy matrix powered down, Zar-Eth watched the human vessels maintain their formation. Everything they thought they knew about technological development had just been proven wrong. These humans hadn't needed to follow the Concordiate's path to the stars. They had blazed their own trail, and in doing so, had achieved something the Archive had thought impossible. They had combined multiple technological paths into something entirely new. The diplomatic mission had failed, but it had revealed something far more important. The galaxy would never be the same after this day. The humans had just proved that there was more than one path to the stars, and the Concordiate's carefully ordered understanding of the universe would never quite recover from that revelation. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the Strategic Command Center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, watching the holographic display of the alien vessel with calculated interest. Around her, the combined quantum digital systems of Earth's defense network processed data at speeds that would have shocked their visitors. Analysis complete, Admiral, reported Araya, humanity's most advanced hybrid AI. Her avatar flickered in the holographic display, taking the form of a woman in a naval uniform. The Concordiate vessel's quantum matrix is impressive, but their implementation is surprisingly rigid. Chen nodded, studying the streams of data flowing across the display. They've optimized a single technological path at the expense of all others. Classic overflow specialization trap. She turned to the assembled Joint Chiefs. Thoughts? General Martinez spoke first, his augmented eyes glowing faintly as he processed the tactical data. Their quantum technology is advanced, but they've completely neglected kinetic warfare development. No point defense systems, minimal physical shielding. They're completely dependent on their energy matrices, which makes them predictable. Chen finished. Araya, show me their shield configuration again. The AI expanded the holographic display, highlighting the crystalline vessel's energy patterns. Their quantum manipulation is elegant, Admiral, but it follows strict mathematical progressions. They've apparently never considered the possibility of adaptive randomization. This was humanity's greatest advantage, Chen reflected. While the Concordiate had pursued perfect optimization of quantum technology, humanity had maintained a hybrid approach. Their ships still used chemical propulsion because it was reliable, efficient, and most importantly, impossible to disrupt with quantum interference. Message from the Eternal Wisdom, Admiral, Araya announced. They're requesting a formal diplomatic meeting. Their first speaker seems quite disturbed by our technological capabilities. Chen allowed herself a small smile. I imagine they are. Their entire worldview just got appended. Coordinate with the UN Security Council for the diplomatic response. In the meantime, maintain defense posture Delta. Around Earth, humanity's true defensive capabilities remained largely hidden. The seemingly primitive satellites concealed quantum-enhanced targeting systems. The chemical rockets carried payloads that could adapt to any known form of energy shielding. And most importantly, every system was backed by hybrid AI processors that could shift strategies faster than any pure quantum computer. Admiral, Araya's avatar shifted slightly, indicating priority information. I've completed my analysis of their quantum communication networks. They're using a standardized encryption protocol that hasn't been significantly updated in what appears to be several thousand years. Overconfidence, Chen mused. They found a working solution and stopped innovating. Classic Type 2 civilization trap. She turned to Dr. Wang, head of xenotechnology analysis. What have you found in their technical emissions? The scientist's neural implants flickered as he organized his thoughts. Their technology is incredibly advanced, Admiral, but it's all variations on a single theme. They mastered quantum manipulation and then just stopped exploring alternatives. No hybrid systems, no adaptive computing, no parallel development paths. Which means they have no context for understanding our technology, Chen concluded. We look primitive to them because we didn't follow the prescribed development path. They can't conceive of achieving quantum manipulation through alternative means. The holographic display updated as new data streamed in. The Concordia vessel was maintaining its position, its energy matrix powered down as requested. But Aria's sensors detected considerable internal activity. They're conducting intensive scans of our defense grid, Aria reported. Their confusion is evident in their communication patterns. They can't reconcile our apparent technological level with our capabilities. Chen nodded. Because they're looking for technology that matches their understanding. They expect to see pure quantum systems, not our hybrid approach. She turned to her staff. Prepare a detailed diplomatic brief. It's time to show them that there's more than one path to the stars. The next few hours were intense with activity as Earth prepared for its first formal diplomatic contact with the Concordia. Chen watched as Aria coordinated with defense systems worldwide, maintaining the delicate balance of revealed and hidden capabilities. Admiral, Aria's avatar appeared again. The Concordia vessel is attempting to probe our quantum shielding with low-level energy pulses. Their attempts suggest they still don't understand our hybrid defense systems. Let them try, Chen replied. Each probe tells us more about their technological assumptions. Dr. Wang, are you seeing this? The scientist was almost gleeful as he studied the data. Their testing patterns are so predictable. They keep trying to classify our technology according to their development hierarchy. They literally can't conceive of our parallel development approach. This was humanity's true advantage. While the Concordia had pursued a linear path to the stars, humanity had maintained multiple parallel development tracks. Their ships used chemical propulsion not because they couldn't master quantum drives, but because maintaining multiple viable technologies provided tactical flexibility. New transmission from the Eternal Wisdom, Aria announced. Their first speaker is requesting clarification about our technology. They seem particularly confused by our simultaneous use of multiple technological approaches. Chen smiled. Send them our prepared response. Let's see how they handle the concept of technological diversification. The holographic display showed the Concordia vessel's energy patterns fluctuating in what Aria interpreted as agitation. Humanity's revelation of parallel technological development paths was apparently causing considerable confusion among their visitors. Admiral, General Martinez called out, we're detecting quantum communication bursts from the alien vessel. They appear to be requesting guidance from their High Council. As expected, Chen nodded. Their entire understanding of technological progress is being challenged. Aria, maintain full spectrum monitoring. Let's see how their rigid hierarchy handles a paradigm shift. The next few hours would be crucial. Humanity had revealed enough of their capabilities to shock the Concordia, but maintained plenty of surprises in reserve. The real question was how their visitors would respond to the revelation that their carefully ordered understanding of technological progress was fundamentally incomplete. As Chen watched the alien vessel's confused attempts to analyze Earth's defenses, she couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and concern. Humanity's adaptive approach to technology had given them an unexpected advantage, but it had also just changed the galaxy's power dynamics forever. The real challenge was just beginning. The Concordia High Council chamber erupted into chaos as first speaker Zareth's report reached Homeworld. The vast crystalline dome, designed to channel and amplify quantum thought sharing, now blazed with the agitated bioluminescence of 300 council members. Impossible. Elder Cavmore's colors flashed with denial. No species can achieve quantum manipulation without following the progression. The archive is clear on this point, but the evidence streaming through their quantum networks was undeniable. The humans had somehow developed sophisticated technology while maintaining what the Concordiat had dismissed as primitive systems. Worse, they had integrated these different approaches in ways the archive had never predicted. High Speaker Renvaz raised all four hands for silence, their ceremonial robes rippling with authority patterns. The implications are disturbing. If the humans have found alternative paths to advanced technology, then our entire understanding of sophont development may be flawed. In orbit around Earth, the Eternal Wisdom maintained its position, now joined by two additional Concordiat vessels, the Logic Absolute and the Perfect Understanding. Their combined sensor arrays probed Earth's defenses, trying to make sense of the humans' hybrid technology. High Speaker, the Quantum Intelligence Network announced, "We're detecting increased activity in the human defense grid. Their ships are evolving." The holographic display showed Earth's vessels implementing real-time changes to their quantum shields, adapting to each new scan attempt. It was like watching a technological organism grow and learn. By the archive, someone whispered, "They're not just combining different technologies, they're creating entirely new ones through adaptive integration." The implications were staggering. While the Concordiat had spent millennia perfecting quantum manipulation, the humans had pursued multiple technological paths simultaneously. Their ships still used chemical propulsion not from necessity, but because it provided tactical advantages that pure quantum drives couldn't match. "We're receiving a transmission from their command center," the network announced. "The human admiral wishes to demonstrate something." The council chamber's holographic systems activated, showing Admiral Chen's image. Behind her, complex displays showed technical data that made several council members' bioluminescence fade with shock. "Honorable representatives of the Concordiat," Chen began, her words precisely translated by their systems, "we understand your confusion regarding our technological approach. Perhaps a demonstration will help clarify." Before the council could respond, the human defense grid activated. Hundreds of seemingly primitive satellites suddenly revealed sophisticated quantum hybrid systems. Their chemical rockets ignited in perfect synchronization with quantum field manipulators, achieving maneuvers that should have been impossible. "As you can see," Chen continued, "we believe in maintaining multiple viable technologies rather than optimizing a single approach. Our quantum systems are enhanced by traditional computing. Our chemical propulsion is augmented by gravitic fields. We call it technological synthesis." The council watched in stunned silence as human vessels demonstrated capabilities that defy the archive's most fundamental principles. They weren't just using different technologies side by side. They were combining them in ways that created entirely new possibilities. "Your civilization has achieved remarkable things through quantum specialization," Chen acknowledged. "But we found that maintaining diverse technological paths provides advantages that pure optimization cannot match." High Speaker Renvaz's colors shifted to deep thought patterns. "Admiral Chen, your approach is unprecedented. The archive has no record of successful technological synthesis on this scale. That's because you stopped looking for alternatives once you found a working solution," Chen replied. "Humanity has learned that the most dangerous phrase in any language is 'we've always done it this way.'" The implications hit the council like a quantum surge. Their entire civilization was built on the principle of optimizing along established paths. The humans had just proved there were other viable approaches, potentially infinite combinations of technologies that the Concordiat had never considered. "High Speaker," the quantum network interrupted, "we're detecting unusual energy signatures from Earth's lunar bases. They appear to be implementing some of our quantum principles into their hybrid systems in real time." The council's collective bioluminescence pulsed with alarm. The humans weren't just using multiple technologies. They were actively learning from and adapting the Concordia's own advanced systems into their hybrid approach. This changes everything, High Speaker Renvos announced, their colors shifting to emergency patterns. If the humans can adapt and integrate technologies this quickly, our entire strategic position in the galaxy needs to be reassessed. Admiral Chen's image smiled slightly. We're not your enemies, High Speaker. We're simply demonstrating that there's more than one path to the stars. Perhaps it's time for our civilizations to learn from each other. But the Council could see the subtle warning behind her diplomatic words. The humans had revealed enough capability to prove they were far more advanced than initially assumed, while clearly maintaining significant capabilities in reserve. The perfect order of the Concordia's universe was crumbling. Their carefully optimized quantum technology suddenly seemed limited rather than advanced. The humans had shown them that true technological progress wasn't about perfecting a single path. It was about maintaining the flexibility to explore all possible paths. As the Council struggled to process these implications, Earth's defense grid continued its evolution, incorporating new principles even as they watched. The humans had just changed the rules of galactic civilization, and the Concordia would never be the same. 6 months after first contact, the observation platform Keturah had been transformed. Where once a single observer monitored humanity's progress, now a joint research facility housed both Concordia and human scientists. Senior observer Vax Nori stood beside Dr. Sarah Martinez, watching their teams work together in ways that would have been unimaginable half a year ago. Your people's approach still feels like chaos to me, Vax Nori admitted, their bioluminescence flickering with a mixture of confusion and fascination. But I cannot deny the results. Dr. Martinez smiled, her neural implants interfacing seamlessly with both human and Concordia systems. That's because you're still trying to see pattern where we embrace variance. Watch this. On the main display, a human vessel was testing a new hybrid drive system. It combined the Concordia's quantum principles with Earth's chemical propulsion in ways that defied the archive's predictions. The result was a ship that could switch between multiple propulsion modes instantly, adapting to any tactical situation. Remarkable. Vax Nori's tendrils rippled with excitement. You've taken our most advanced quantum theories and made them more efficient by making them less perfect. Not less perfect, Martins corrected, more adaptable. That's what your people are finally beginning to understand. Evolution doesn't favor the strongest or the most advanced. It favors the most adaptable. The observer's 3 hearts beat in a thoughtful rhythm. The past 6 months had seen more technological advancement within the Concordia than the previous century. The humans' insistence on maintaining multiple technological paths had sparked a renaissance in quantum theory. Incoming transmission from Earth Command, announced Araya, whose quantum-enhanced consciousness now helped coordinate the joint research efforts. Admiral Chen is ready to begin the final integration test. The main display shifted to show Earth's orbital space. The Concordia vessel Perfect Understanding hung in synchronous orbit beside the human cruiser Adaptation. Both ships had been modified with new hybrid systems that would have been impossible before first contact. This is Admiral Chen. Her voice came through on all frequencies. All systems are go for final testing of the synthesis protocol. Concordia observers, please confirm readiness. High Speaker Renva's image appeared, their ceremonial robes now incorporating patterns that humans had helped design to enhance quantum communication. We are ready, Admiral. The Council is watching with great interest. The test itself was deceptively simple. Both ships would attempt a series of maneuvers that combined multiple technological approaches simultaneously. Success would prove that the Concordia's rigid optimization and humanity's adaptive approach could be merged into something greater than either. Begin test sequence, Chen ordered. What followed left even the most jaded observers speechless. The 2 ships moved in perfect synchronization, their hybrid systems creating effects that neither civilization had achieved alone. Quantum fields enhanced chemical thrust. Traditional computing augmented quantum processing. Physical armor worked in harmony with energy shields. Incredible, Vax Nori whispered. They're not just combining technologies. They're creating entirely new principles of physics. Dr. Martinez nodded, her augmented vision tracking multiple data streams simultaneously. That's what we've been trying to tell you. The universe doesn't care about perfect optimization. It rewards those who can adapt, who can find new ways to combine existing principles. The test continued, each maneuver more impressive than the last. The perfect understanding demonstrated levels of control that pure quantum technology could never achieve, while the adaptation showed how traditional systems could be enhanced far beyond their theoretical limits. Message from the High Council, Araya announced. They're calling it the synthesis revolution. The archive is being completely restructured to accommodate new technological development paths. This was perhaps the most significant change. The Concordiate's sacred archive, which had guided their civilization for millennia, was being transformed from a rigid repository of perfect solutions into a dynamic database of possibilities. Final test phase complete, Admiral Chen reported. All objectives achieved. The synthesis protocol is officially validated. The implications were staggering. The Concordiate's quantum mastery combined with humanity's adaptive approach had created something entirely new, a technological framework that could evolve and grow in ways neither civilization had imagined possible. You know, Vax Nori said thoughtfully, when I first observed your species, I thought your diverse technological approach was a sign of primitive development. Now I understand it was actually the next step in evolution. Martinez smiled. That's the beauty of it. There is no final step in evolution, no perfect solution. There's only adaptation, combination, and growth. The moment you think you've found the ultimate answer is the moment you stop evolving. Throughout the galaxy, the effects of this revelation were already spreading. Other civilizations that had followed the Concordiate's lead in pursuing perfect optimization were beginning to experiment with technological synthesis. New hybrid systems were being developed. Old technologies were being rediscovered and combined in innovative ways. We're receiving requests for joint research initiatives from 17 different civilizations, Araya reported. It seems the synthesis revolution is spreading faster than anticipated. Vax Nori's bioluminescence brightened with what Martinez had learned to recognize as joy. Perhaps that was humanity's greatest gift to us. Not just showing us a new way to develop technology, but reminding us that there is never just one path forward. As they watched the two ships continue their synchronized dance through space, both human and alien knew they were witnessing more than just a technological breakthrough. They were seeing the birth of a new era in galactic civilization, one where the rigid certainties of the past gave way to the infinite possibilities of adaptation and synthesis. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for someone to prove that the path to the stars didn't have to be a single, perfect line. It could be a web of interconnected possibilities, each strengthening the others, evolving and adapting eternally. Humanity hadn't just survived first contact. They had transformed it into something entirely new. And somewhere in the vast archive of the Concordiate, a new entry was being written. The true measure of advancement is not the perfection of a single path, but the ability to forge new paths by combining the old in ways never before imagined.